Right, Russ, nearly got the late goal to take the penalties, but what do you think of tonight's game?
I thought we did really well. I've just said to the boys, stood up to the test. It was a lot more physical than the Siren game, because I had a few boys out, but today was their first team, pretty much. I thought we stood up to the test, should have won the game. Gifted them 2 goals for me. First one come out of nothing, and the second one we didn't deal with a cross, simple cross that came in the box, miss header. And they scored from it, but really that was the only times they were in our box. I can't remember Harvey having to make a save. Their keeper has made a great save from Anksy right at the end when he went through, and then KP's fluffed us a great opportunity when otherwise he would have scored with his technique. But overall, I think the lads stood up to it physically, dominated the game, especially second half downhill. And it was good for them to play a different way. You know, the game's not always about pretty football. I think the pitch wasn't the best. Ball was bouncing all over the place. It was windy, and you know, I can't say much more than that really. That they've stood up to it and did all I asked.
Yeah. So even though you'd like to have gone through, obviously you think you're quite pleased with the way they acquitted themselves.
Yeah, I think I was disappointed with the result, not with the performance. Deserved. You know, I said to them, you got to get. You know, in games you've got to get out what you deserve, and too often this year we haven't. But I think since December when we played Tottenham, I said to them, I want you to kick on now, and you know, our results in the second half of the season have been different class, and tells me they're learning and switching on and realising what it takes to win games and be a professional footballer, I think.
Yeah, so you had your last league game in Plymouth, didn't you, on Saturday,
Yeah.
which was a win. And is that it now after tonight? Is that the last game for your team?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we played ever so well at Plymouth, won 3-2, could have been more. So that was a nice way to end, and we ended up mid-table. So we picked up really well. That is it with regards to leagues and cups, yeah, for us. So signed off. We signed off well, I think. Got to be happy with that. A couple of the boys will probably play for Cleve this week. And that's the last week of their season, so by next Saturday certainly everyone will be finished youth-wise.
Yeah, and what's the plan now then? Because they carry on with their courses, or are they finished as well now?
Yeah, they've still got college and uni, still got that. That should be finished mid-May, something like that, so end of April, mid-May. And then you know, we'll just be around and helping the first team out, do what they need to do. Yeah,
everyone will be wondering about Ed Williams, Joe Hanks. Obviously, they just got the pro deals. How do you think they did tonight against the men experience?
Yeah, they did okay. I wanted more. I said to them, I want more from you two, you know, than what they did tonight as well. Joe found it hard to get in the game. It was, you know, central midfield was tough tonight. It wasn't going to ever be a game that you get it down and knock it around. It's one of those where you got to read knockdowns and get in front of people, win headers, help things on, you know. And they did it to a certain degree. I think Harry Williams did well. Really well for first year. He really got battled, really got stuck in and battled well. Joe found it a bit hard at times, and you know, but he kept going and showed what he's all about. And great anticipation for his chance where he nicked in and went through past the centre back and should have really slotted it in. But you know, at least he was in there. And Ed did his little tricks and flicks and got around the game. And again, I said to Ed, I want more from you. You know, he's going to step up now. Certainly got to get stronger, but he's got all the ability in the world and can change a game in a second. So you know, pleasing that those two have moved on, and hopefully we'll do well next season.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a long summer for them. They're going to be obviously have a bit of a break, but we're going to be working hard in the gym.
We'll give all the lads programs. They'll all go away with something that they've got to do. That's what you've got to do nowadays. You can't rest on your laurels, and otherwise you'll be behind when you come back. So, but particularly in Joe and Ed's case, and they're stepping into, you know, certainly in Ed's case more than Joe's, the first team environment. I'm sure he'll adapt because he's a bright lad. He's a good footballer. He's got a quick brain and quick feet. So, you know, I said to him, if you can just hold people off and use your body and accept the physical challenge, then you know he'll be a good player.
Yeah, and James Bowen took a bit of a whack. Was it him who went down on the far
yeah,
side? Is he all right? Because
he's fine.
Nasty, it's the first,
yeah, a bit of a shoulder injury. I don't think he saw the wall in front of him. He kept going 100 miles an hour. But he's like that, James. I thought he was terrific. You know, his left winger, played at left back, was absolutely superb. I thought he was. He's tenacious. He gets, you know, he gets stuck in. He never gives in. He goes up and down the pitch, and his throw-ins were. I didn't know he had a good throw-in for about 6 months. He never told me. All of a sudden, this throw-in come out in one of the games. I was like, "Where's that from?" And he, you know, he's a great weapon for us tonight, especially tonight when it was one of those games where you could launch things. And that was good play from him and Zach. Zach stood on the byline. And if you remember, the throw-in was James on the halfway line. He slung it to him on the byline. Early crossing, own goal. So good intelligent play that was.
Yeah, and do you think some of these lads might be going out on loan early next season? Do you think that'll do him good?
Yeah, I'd like to. I mean, Bobby played for Cleve on Monday, I think it was. I did a deal with Sykesy. I said you can have Bobby and I'll have Zach and Gonzo just to keep them a bit fresher.
Yeah.
And Bobby hasn't played as much, so Bobby played there. Unfortunately, I think Mike's out now for the season because of his groins. So,
Right.
but he's been outstanding for them apparently. And then Zach will probably play a couple of games this week as well. We've got Kieran Thomas at Cinderford still. Yeah, next year we'll look to get a few of the boys out. I think just not on any real long-term deals, but just dip them in, dip them out. Obviously we'll take priority, but I think what we've seen from the boys, from Zach and Gonzo in particular, come on leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
So I think it's good for them.
Yeah. Brilliant. Cheers, Russ.
All right.